the 5G that we've launched in our country is completely indigenous, standalone. There could be some critical parts coming from, say, countries like Korea, but certainly not coming from somebody else. So, completely indigenous technology that we can now provide 5G for countries which they want, which whoever wants it. So, our 5G is not imported from somewhere else; it's our own, product.
Last month, while interacting with students at the Johns Hopkins School of Advanced International Studies in the United States, Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said that India's 5G is not imported, it is a domestic product. Sitharaman also said that the Indian government can offer the indigenous 5G technology and infrastructure to other countries as well. Back home, a few days before the finance minister's US visit, the country's telecom minister, Ashwini Vaishnav, had announced that over 200 cities in India will get access to 5G within 6 months. And Vaishnav may be right. Telecom companies are working on a war footing to launch pan-India services. But is India's 5G fully indigenous? Maybe not. Both Jio and Airtel have already partnered with global gear makers for the smooth rollout. Reliance Jio has inked multi-year contracts with Ericsson and Nokia to get 5G network equipment. Under the contracts, Nokia will supply equipment from its AirScale radio portfolio, including base stations, high-capacity 5G radio antennae, and remote radio heads, while Ericsson's 5G radio access network products and solutions and E-band microwave mobile transport solutions will be deployed in the 5G network for Jio. Meanwhile, Airtel has signed 5G network agreements with Ericsson, Nokia, and Samsung. A telecom network has 4 parts: a radio access network, a core network, a transport network, and an interconnect network. While Jio said it will deploy a standalone 5G network which needs a new core, Airtel is putting in place a non-standalone 5G network leveraging the existing 4G infra. So at this point, India's 5G infra is a mixed bag. Unlike 3G or 4G rollouts, telcos this time are not entirely depending on global vendors for equipment and instead developing their own 5G tech. For example, Jio will be using its own indigenously built 5G core. Both Reliance and Airtel have also said that they are indigenously developing the next generation 5G stack. According to a Business Standard report, Reliance is building a 5G software stack with its own R&D team along with its US subsidiary Radisys. Emergence of platforms like ORAN or Open Radio Access Networks has helped Indian telcos to build their own 5G tech. For instance, Airtel has inked a partnership with TCS to build ORAN-based radio and an indigenous 5G stack. Tatas have acquired a stake in Tejas Networks, a developer and seller of networking products such as radio, which in turn has brought Sankhya Labs, which is developing 5G software. TCS will act as a system integrator, putting the hardware and software parts together on an ORAN platform. Airtel Tata will likely be a win-win for both, as Tatas will get to test proof of concept while Airtel will get indigenous tech. When it comes to other homegrown telecom gear companies developing 5G tech, it is a tall order. The government brought in a PLI scheme for telecom equipment making last year. While the 31 companies approved under the scheme promised an investment of over 3,000 crore rupees over 4 years, these companies do not have any orders from operators for 5G equipment, and the incentives under PLI are given only when the companies undertake production. According to R.K. Bhatnagar, Director General at Voice of Indian Communications Technology Enterprises, few companies that have made 5G radio design have no orders. Bhatnagar told Business Standard that domestic gear makers should concentrate on the private network market and the growing number of government contracts where the requirement for 5G equipment like radios is not so rigid or so large. Let us hear from N.K. Goyal, who represents Telecom Equipment Manufacturers Association in India.
First of all, there is nothing as you can call 100% indigenous, because certain component parts are always imported. But when we make in India, we don't pay any royalty to anybody because we import the components, some components and others are made locally. We have around 21 companies who have successfully demonstrated this, and they are putting up this now for trials in the real life situation. So they will come up, there is no problem, it will be there. As regards orders by private operators, because private operators has to start immediately and they cannot wait. So they have given orders to existing multinational companies, but even that case, we understand Nokia is making within India. Ericsson has plans to make in India. So if a company is making products in India, it is called domestic manufacturing, whether it is 100% foreign owned or 100% Indian owned.
Complete indigeneity in 5G infra and technology is still far-fetched for India. However, there is some progress on the tech front with 5G when compared with 3G and 4G.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.